This is called the generation gap.
My generation, baby.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Generation Gab. I'm John Lehr. I am a Gen Xer by advertising standards.
And a fun dad.
And a fun dad.
I'm Chase O'Donnell, and a semi-recent grad, and a millennial.
And this is a banner day, everybody. We have one of my dear friends who I feel like I've constantly rooked her into weird stuff, and she always does it. And we just connected recently at a diner, and it was so great reconnecting with you. And we were in a movie together. That's how we met.
We were. We shot that damn movie in 5 days.
I know. That was insanity.
5 days.
Have you guessed who it is?
Justine Bateman.
Justine Bateman, everybody! So Justine and I met, Chase.
You got to tell me what movie. Satisfaction?
No.
What's it called? That would have been great.
Oh, God.
Oh.
We were a date, though. We were a couple. Well, we came to a party together.
On one of the days of the 5-day shoot.
So we shot a movie in 5 days in Brooklyn, New York.
Wow.
Noah Baumbach.
Noah Baumbach directed it. What's it called? Highball
with us.
Eric Stoltz.
Annabella Sciorri, Carlos
Jacot, Chris Eigenman,
Ali Sheedy,
and Radon Chong, who I kissed in one of the.
And she was in my film short.
Really?
Yeah.
And I'm writing a show for Tommy Chong for TBS right now.
It all
goes back
circle.
to marijuana always.
See.
What an all-star cast.
Yeah.
Was this at the beginning of your careers? Or when you guys were all
Justine
established?
was well established. It was early in my career. I mean,
think
if you want to call my career a career.
Noah have like money left over from Mr. Wrong or something? And
Yes.
he's like, let's do another movie in 5 days.
That's right.
But we shot it all in one location. It's possible. If you're only shooting in one room the whole time, you can do a film in 5 days.
But it was so funny because the camera would like pan and then you would have to turn a lamp to shine light on the next actor or stuff like that. I remember having to do stuff like that. Or
Is this on Netflix?
yes.
Highball?
It's out there. I've never received a dime. Have you?
It
No.
doesn't happen.
Mm-mm. Never got a penny.
I've got to watch this.
It's funny.
If I find it, I'll put the link on our description.
Okay, I'll help you. It's about it's about a couple who hosts 3 parties over a year. And
there's like there's a New Year's thing,
Halloween, I know that.
Halloween, and then something in between. Flag Day, I don't know.
Yeah, President's
4th of
Day.
July.
Flag Day.
I made out with Radon Chong in that movie. I kissed her.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, I'm just
You
saying.
mentioned that
said
already.
that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just that
I don't know who that is.
Oh my God. See, this is the purpose of this. Now, we try not to talk before the podcast because
We want to save it all for the podcast.
right. But and we were talking to Justine about, the concept of this show, and you pointed out that these nomenclatures
Nice.
are really just tools for people to sell us stuff.
Well, I think it's just a means by which advertising organizes customer bases.
Right. And so
Because you say you're a recent grad. When did you graduate?
Well, semi-recent grad, 2013.
Okay.
That still
I
counts.
graduated from UCLA in 2016.
Oh.
So to me, like,
We're this. So, yeah, I can't say
You know
that
what I mean?
and say I'm a yeah.
And I argue that that's really what this show is about.
I think it's like
Chase doesn't know who Radon Chong is or what liquid paper is, but is that really all that important?
I don't know. I don't know.
Justine,
I
wanna
think
see where you're going
you're
with that.
Yes.
you're part of, I believe, one is part of society until you're not part of society anymore, which means you're dead. So when people say, "Oh,
You're not
heard
relevant.
email's not for me. That's for another." I know people that don't
Email.
I know a couple of people that don't eat, and I'm
Email.
just like,
I know.
I don't know how you can not be a part of what's going on in your life right now.
That is
It's
so.
not a generational thing. It's just, are you alive? It's 2019. Are you
But,
alive? Then it's your time.
Greatest
Yes.
generation, like my grandma.
Yeah, we interviewed her grandma, who was
She,
awesome.
and she's probably listening right now.
Her name's Barbie.
But
She's
hey, Barbie,
delightful.
how's
and
it going,
she
Barbie?
knows this, but she has a very tough time keeping up with the internet stuff.
She could not. Half of our
Nobody
podcast-
can.
I know.
Okay, nobody can.
It's
Chase
not a-
can. Chase is on it. You do everything. Do you do Snapchat too?
You know, I decided I'm over Snapchat.
Why?
But
Oh,
I've done
shit.
it.
Death keel.
I'm
Yeah.
over it.
Are you on Snapchat?
No, I don't really.
I
use
can't
it.
do it. I don't know.
I mean,
what-
I think you gotta pick your avenues.
There's too many.
There's
I mean,
too
if you
many.
have a job, you can't do all the social media all the time.
can't
I mean,
unless that's your
unless you
job.
make that your job.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Jinx, you guys. So I just love this person. You have a great voice. I
Oh,
always
thanks.
noticed it, but I mean, now I'm really focusing on it.
Yeah.
So Justine and I met on this film. Now I had a huge, and this is leading into your current project. I had a huge crush on Justine, as did every guy in the country my age, because of the show that she was on. Now, do you know the show that Justine was on?
Family Ties.
Family Ties. Now, did you watch Family Ties?
No.
I've seen maybe an episode here or there.
Because, I did an episode of Friends, like, I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever, 10 years ago. My daughters, they're all watching Friends. My daughter doesn't give a shit about anything I've ever done except that I had 2 scenes on Friends.
Well,
and now
most of
she's
the public feels that way too.
like, what the hell? What's going on with
When
Friends?
I was at UCLA, I'm studying computer science and digital media management, and people were like,
Justine's a
"Oh,"
brain, by
people
the
were like,
way.
"Oh, wow!" And then, but I did during that time. I did a day or two on Desperate Housewives, or no, I did more than that on Desperate Housewives. Oh no, I know what it was. Modern Family.
You
I
did?
like a day on Modern
Oh, my
Family,
God.
and that was the thing. People were like,
We're-
"Oh my
Well,
god,
yeah.
you're that one on," and I was like, "Jesus,
So
really?
wait-
That's impressive."
It
Relative to what I was doing. At
I
the
mean,
time?
because our
Oh,
no,
that's
it's
okay.
not. Of course, it's not. But our culture is so built on it. Well,
That's
okay,
yeah.
so-
My book is
right.
focuses on
so
that. Right.
talk about your book a little bit. I want to get back to the timeline to bringing you to this. By the way, we're recording from my bedroom in my house today.
It's so sexy. We're all in the. Oh well, you can. I can't
You
lie
guys,
now.
this is
I was
my
gonna say we're
bedroom.
all in the bed, but now we're
live
streaming live.
streaming.
So
I brought
whatever.
a table up.
See, this is what crushes fantasies here.
I
like
know.
everything's being recorded.
Everything
and
is
you can't
everything. There's
imply
no
anything.
right.
Whatever.
Okay, so tell us the name about your book and tell us a little bit about it. It's really fascinating.
Yes.
Sure. It's called Fame, the Hijacking of Reality. And it is about the life cycle of fame when it begins and it plateaus and then it starts to descend. And some people who become famous don't live that whole life cycle. I did the whole life cycle. So what it's like on the inside and then also what it's like on the outside, why the public reacts the way it does to celebrities or whatever, famous people at certain points in those life cycles. And then also how did we get to this point where society puts fame and celebrity on such a high pedestal, and how the democratization of the seeking of fame through social media, everybody can get in on it now. How
Like
many
podcasts.
followers you have? Podcasts, right?
Podcasts are big.
How that democratization has affected society and how we quantify people's values now instead of really qualifying their qualities. We're quantifying their value by how many followers they have and so forth. So
Right.
Gosh.
I think it's to great detriment
I
to society,
agree.
and I think a lot is being lost. I think we'll look back at this moment and see a lot of hidden skills and talents that were not brought to the surface and were instead buried under this seeking of fame.
I am working on a show right now, developing, and it's early, but it's sort of about it. There's a connection to Kylie Jenner in it, and so I didn't really know very much about the Kardashians. I've never watched the show really. I mean, I knew of them,
Okay.
She is able to somehow, she's able to play Instagram like a Stradivarius. I'm using that in my pitch. And she's able to do this one person, because of these odd skills or talent, whatever you want to call it, is able to
Plastic
capture
surgery? What do you
No,
mean?
no. She's somehow able to capture millions and millions of people's attention, and then you have corporations who are trying to do what she does and fails.
Well, I told you they study the Kardashians in business school.
Yeah. Jesus.
I think a better study is taking a sociological look at society right now.
And what do you,
Because
okay,
the
so
idea,
elaborate.
or look at society. Look at what society has held up as a sort of a goal or a pinnacle of success in different eras.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, so
Wow.
if this is, I'm unaware. I mean, I don't want to sound critical, but I'm unaware of the basket of skills and talents as being brought to the forefront by these people.
Right.
What exactly do you put on any form where you say your profession? I don't really know. So if that's what's being held up as the pinnacle of success in our society, I think you rather have to look at our society right now. And I think it has a lot to do with the popularity of reality shows that started, years and years ago, where suddenly you think, oh, I can achieve the, quote, American dream, which is not the, 2.5 kids in the picket fence, but rather get rich quick and
noticed.
and with as little work as possible.
Yeah.
So people went on reality shows with debatable skills and talents, or hidden skills and talents, or we are never going to see whatever their skills and talents possibly are, being quite disastrous as with their behavior as people, and getting paid for it.
And
I think
noticed.
that
Exactly.
fostered the current president. Then that fostered the financial success of this Kardashian group. And
It's
I
insane,
think
the
it's
amount of money that,
unbearable.
Right. I agree with you. I think that I agree
But
with
I want
that.
your show to be a huge success.
Well, we want you to like it,
Because
subscribe it, and share.
Because you're very talented. Whatever show you have going on with those people, I hope that's a big
This is
success.
blowing my mind, the way you're talking about it, because for my generation, we'll talk about millennials, are very into how many followers do you have. Oh, you have 10,000, you have 20,000, you're legit.
Well, and I think
And
it
it,
gets back to
The
Justine's
more followers you have, the more legit we think that someone
that
is.
person is. Exactly.
But then, what
Because
exactly do they do? Like,
They
are
know-
they a good cello player? Do
It's-
they practice and practice and practice at that? Are they an incredible athlete?
there's a guy who
Are
can
they
make a song out
somebody-
of his farts.
Are they say it's somebody who knows a lot about digging for oil, drilling for oil, and they've studied and they've,
Never,
what
it's
is
never
it?
that.
It's not that at all,
usually
is
the
it?
really pretty girls or like hot
And then you know what
guys.
happens to the really pretty girls and the hot guys when they're 40?
They're not hot or pretty.
They're not hot or pretty
They've
anymore,
lost
and
their
they've got
identity.
exactly. And that's what my second
I
book
feel
is
like-
about, which is called Face, which is about people's faces getting older and why that pisses the public off, and how that why women in particular, why they adopt this sort of shame. Anyway,
So
the
as
whole
you
thing.
can see, dear listener,
I'm just
Justine does not
so
have
impressed
any.
with this talk.
Justine is so vapid. She has no opinions. She doesn't think for herself. And that's why we're having you here. This is an intervention. We want you to find your voice. No, she's one of the brightest people I know. I love the way you talk about this. I've been following you in your quest. But let me backtrack a little bit, because I want to bring you up, because there's another fascinating chapter to Justine that I really love. But prior to that, so when you're on the show, and you're now a young. How old were you?
when I was on Family Ties?
Yeah. How old were you on Family
That
Ties?
started at 16 and went to 21.
So that's like
Wow.
the crucial period of when you're finding yourself as an adult, you know? I mean, you're kind of, for the first time, you're breaking away from your family.
Yeah.
You're kind of finding. And
Dating.
so here
It's
you
pretty
are,
universal.
Here you are as a young woman who's, you know, super famous. You're a sex symbol, really, for teens. You were, you know, what was the experience, like looking back on it, what was that experience like?
I mean, it's so much better to read about it in the book because it's in context of the.
This is teasing the book. Everybody buy the book.
I'm going to.
It's on Amazon,
I
by
can't
the way,
believe I
and we're
haven't-
going to
Yeah.
put a link to it.
Yeah.
But tell me, give me a, you know, give me a
I
presser.
don't. You know what's more interesting to me is the descent of fame, because the
I'm getting to the descent, but we got to do the
we don't
rise.
have enough
God
time.
damn it. Yes, we do. Just
No.
Yes.
And we can talk about my film that I just shot
We're
too.
going to do that, which I, by the way.
Here, I brought you guys stickers.
Oh, good.
See, if you host a podcast, you could have a sticker.
Let me see it. Okay.
No way.
Is this the one that I'm an investor in, or that I gave money to?
No, that was my
No?
short push.
Oh, damn it! You got to.
Thank you.
Okay, Violet. All right.
Okay,
Anyway,
we'll put a pin on Violet.
give us a taste of what that was like. Was
Well,
it just
the
totally
first-
discombobulating? Like
The first moment in the life cycle of fame is just very strange and universal and all-encompassing approval.
yeah.
So if you can remember back to
Oh my
what it was like to be a
gosh.
toddler,
Yes.
if anyone has a memory that long, or if you just observe a toddler, or if you're a parent and you have a toddler,
Okay.
and think about how delighted you are with everything they do. They bring home some scribble on a piece of paper, and
They
let's
eat their
face
own
it.
turd,
let's
and you're
face
like,
it.
you
It
ate-
looks like shit.
Yeah.
It looks like what it is.
Right.
Somebody took a crayon and just maniacally just
Yeah.
made color on a piece of paper. And you look at that with a lot of pride and a lot of, you know, you're very impressed, and you put it on the refrigerator for probably 6 months. That's what it's like to
For the whole time.
That's what it's like.
Jesus.
But then the hate comes in, and that's another part of the life cycle.
Right. Now, this was before you had social media, thank God. I mean, I can't imagine what it's like to
Would
be
the
a
hate-
16-year-old with social media on a national show like that, where you're getting millions and millions of people.
Was the hate on like J14 magazine or like People magazine? Is that where the hate would come?
I got a pan
What's
in.
J14?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's
Yes.
a generational thing. I don't know. It's like a teen magazine.
J14.
Oh, no.
We had
I never heard of
Dynamite.
it was
Were you in
Dynamite,
Dynamite?
Teen Magazine.
I bet
teen,
you were in Dynamite. I was in
Teen
Dynamite.
Beat.
Teen Beat I did not have.
The hate was, it would be, you know, the thing about, I mean, there are pluses and minuses to having social media now for the famous. The back then, when something was said about you in the press, usually it was like the Inquirer or the Star, okay, the two tabloids at the time. You couldn't say anything back. What were you
Right.
gonna? What were you gonna do? Take an
couldn't
ad out
defend
in a
yourself.
newspaper? I mean, you couldn't, or you know, try and call a press conference. I mean, it's ridiculous. You couldn't answer. You couldn't quote clap back. Okay. Now people can say, "Hey, that article that was in there, blah blah blah. This is the real truth," and you know,
And you
so
get the
that's an
word out.
advantage. And then you hit like sort of an equilibrium, like where everybody just knows you're famous.
Okay, and when is
so-
this? How old are you now?
Oh, I don't.
your
you know,
cycle?
in the book, I just talk about it generally.
I know, but I'm trying to
I know,
use
but
you as an example.
But I've so many things I'm interested in that are happening in like 2019 that I don't really want to talk about.
All right.
2000
Okay, so
1987.
whatever. So you plateau. You're starting
So-
this plateau where you're now
Well,
in the
people
club.
and a lot of people just stay at that plateau, like
Me.
Kate Blanchett.
Oh,
John
okay.
Lehr. Yeah, everyone just knows you're famous.
Right. I can't.
And
go
then
anywhere.
there's a descent. There's a you maybe only you feel that the fame is falling, and then there's I forget what I call that point. The slide where only maybe you notice, and then the descent where everybody notices, and you get people coming up to you in public saying, "I haven't seen you around much."
Yeah, where are you now? Where is she
what have
now?
you been up to? Are you
Yeah.
working? Do you still work?
Wow.
And you're just like, So and I
But
I
you-
go into the book. I talk about how it's an interesting level of disappointment and anger and frustration the public delivers to the once famous.
And you have no control over it either, so you must feel sort of helpless.
No, and the thing
too.
that the public is responding to is the idea that they believe you do have control over your fame. So the response from the public is
what are you doing wrong?
Somewhat of a we gave you this fucking thing.
And
what did you
doing?
do with it?
That's
you
really
just
interesting.
pissed it away, didn't you?
I'm so fascinated to read the book and see
Yeah.
how this like affected you and how you. Because
and-
you
Well, like I said,
obviously
it's not really about
she doesn't
me.
talk about her.
It's not really about me. It's
It's
like the things that I'm saying. This is
sociological.
This is universal.
Right.
Wow.
Like you ask any famous person, and there may be like Tom Cruise. Will he ever go through the descent? Probably not. But anybody,
I once touched butts with Tom Cruise in a party.
and now your butt is
More famous.
You've never watched
he's,
it.
He's
Precious.
not a tall man, so his butt was underneath my butt when we touched. So it was kind of like spooning, sort of a butt
I feel
spoon.
like that means you made it. That's exciting.
So
yeah, your butt's kissed,
right,
pretty much.
right. So okay, so then I am now on a show called Jessie that
Yes, I've
Christina
heard about.
Applegate started. Who, by the way, have you? Do you guys know each other?
I know her a little bit.
because she has very interesting things to say on this topic. I think you
Ooh.
guys would click. Anyway, so I'm on that show, and I'm making a little money, and I decide I'm going to shoot a short film. So I write this crazy
Is that cracks?
cracks, and it's this crazy weird. I don't even know what you want to call it, but it's very short film. And Justine and I had remained friends from this movie, and I asked her to do it, and she said yes.
Wow.
I want to see that.
I have it.
Okay.
You've never seen it?
What is it on?
VHS?
Yeah, what is it on?
Probably is. It's on VHS.
Oh, let's
My
look
kids.
at
I
it.
was walking home a while back from the grocery store with my kids, and there was a TV set that had a VHS player in it. And my kids were like, "Let's bring it home and take it apart." They wanted to take apart the TV, so I carried it home. They plugged it in, and it worked. So they found all these VHS tapes of mine. And I was on a show called News Weasels on
yeah.
E! They found all these News Weasels tapes where I had long hair. It was terrible, terrible show. And I find my kids just dying over my News Weasels VHS tapes.
Oh, that's
But I bet I have
great.
cracks on it. Anyway, so Justine does this. That was so nice of you. I mean, at the time, I was grateful. But now, looking back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. So she comes out to the desert, shoots it for 2 days, I think.
Wow.
And
Did we sleep in our cars? What did we even? Anyway,
remember,
go on.
I had a Winnebago. Did we sleep in that?
I don't even remember.
And Carlos Jacot was in it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was so fun. But anyway, and then so then we became closer friends from that. This is my recollection. Justine is now the first person that I've ever met at that time who's now, and this fits with our show, I think, gets into the internet. You were like the person who knew everything. Like I remember the Den. What was that? Digital Entertainment Network. That was one of the first that I was aware of. That was like this idea of video and entertainment actually being on the internet. This is early.
Yeah, this is like 2000. Yeah, I got involved in
One.
digital media.
Maybe 2000 even.
Well, that's earlier than. I mean, I got really around 2007. I was.
Oh, really? Because I remember you talking about it, but you were like always the person who's like, "This is where it's going."
Well, I'll tell you something. I do remember way back then. Jesus, it must have been in the late 90s. I wish I still had it. There was no Google.
Wow. Ask
So-
Jeeves.
I'm not sure.
I never used Ask
So
Jeeves.
how would you find a website? How would you find a website? I had
Stickers.
I had a website, Yellow Pages.
That's a genius idea.
Oh my God,
Did you
I wish
make
I
money?
still had it. No, I didn't create it.
Oh.
But I physically had a book.
Oh, you had a piece of paper.
I had a book of
pages.
yellow pages. No, you know, yellow pages, a phone book.
That is so.
Wow.
So I had like a yellow pages of websites. So that's how I would find. That's how one would find websites. Or you would.
HTTP.
Yes, exactly
//
it.
colon. Oh my
That's
god!
it.
I didn't know that.
Don't leave your AOL account on overnight. Because
Why?
they charge by the minute for internet
Right.
connections. You remember that?
Yes.
You'd come down in the morning, you'd go, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I left it on.
Oh, my God,
That's
this
like
is gonna be hundreds of
$27.
dollars.
Oh my god! Yeah,
Wow.
you're right. You could not find.
And here's the funny thing is that is not that long ago.
No.
I mean, technology has advanced so quickly, so fast. I don't know.
I was Chase and I were
it
talking.
wasn't that long ago.
Chase and I were talking. Speaking of books, we were talking about maps and about having the Thomas guides in
Oh,
our
yeah.
car, and how.
That was the only way to get. I mean, the first
But
if you
Chase
moved to
grew
LA.
up. Chase grew up with MapQuest. She's never really like maps. There's no need for maps.
No, I've never used one.
You couldn't fold a map if your life depended on it. It was really hard to fold them.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
feel like I could.
Well, you didn't
They're
fold
really-
them.
No,
Didn't
remember
you have the book?
The road, but I'm talking about road maps. Remember that they
Oh, the
and
road
then
maps.
Oh
you
yeah,
try to
Once
fold
you
them back.
close them
You
back,
can't do it.
I guess I've had like maps of things that it's Disneyland. It's hard.
They're good to wrap presents in.
But you got involved, Justine. You were in that world.
I was heavily involved in digital media very early on, and I would pitch things, and people would say, "Ooh, that's like 4 years ahead," and I would think, "No, just give me the money. I'll put this. This is be fine." But I was pitching things like, I was pitching things in 2007 like, "Look, let's not just we're professional filmmakers. We don't have to put like." These sort of janky videos online. Like, let's make real shows. This is just another means of distribution.
Yes.
I said, let's do regular length, half-hour shows.
Yes.
And
And
regular length hour shows. And they were like, you're out of your mind.
You're out of your mind.
Nobody's ever going to watch anything longer than 3 minutes. And I said, 3 minutes? Why did you pick that? No. And I went, oh, no. Are you referring to the technical restriction at YouTube? Because YouTube had a technical restriction at the time of 3-minute
Really?
uploads. So,
God damn
yeah.
Well,
And
I remember
I just went on from there.
My mind is. I'm so impressed with you.
She
Oh,
was
thank
way
you.
ahead of everybody because I remember we met for coffee somewhere and I was asking your advice on this because I had pitched or somehow gotten a meeting at Digital Entertainment Network, DEN, which was one of the first that I had ever heard of that was going to be like trying to
And
do
you
what
had,
you were
and then
talking
later
about.
you had one of the early shows on Crackle,
Right,
Sony's
yeah.
arm.
But you were always the one who kind of, I thought,
No.
from my point of view. But here, this will crack you up because I went to Digital Entertainment Network. Now, this is before they were thinking 3-minute quickies. This
Right.
is not what Justine was thinking. But I walk in. And it's like out of a TV show. I mean, they're all on skateboards and scooters and bean bags. Like the early days. This is when the bubble was happening. This is
yeah.
when, people were like, there's money in this. How are you going to make money? We don't know, but there's money in this, because nobody knew how to
Wow,
make
that's
money.
right, that's
but
right.
people were investing. And I go to this place and it's so fancy. And they're like, yeah, we're going to give you equipment, go shoot stuff, put it on, blah, blah, blah. Are you going to pay me? No, but it's going to help your career. That was basically their pitch. And I was like, okay.
Oh, classic.
And the very next day, the guy who ran it got caught child molesting and the whole thing shut down.
Shit.
And of course, that spread like wildfire on the internet. They couldn't get their videos out there, but they could get the child molesting.
Can
So-
we? Is it now a good time to bring up 2019, Justine?
Yes.
Have we covered?
I've walked her up. I
Okay.
made her do it because I'm sorry to force you to do that, but you had an interesting life, and I think that connects with what your book discusses too. Like you've been able to survive this by continuing to explore and push yourself.
Yeah, and keep evolving.
Right.
Keep you're not. I don't know.
You taught yourself how to edit.
I think a lot of people stop evolving at certain points because they think they have to, and they don't.
And you know what? I think that might be the difference of if someone doesn't relate to a generation, it's because they've stopped evolving. Do you think maybe
I
that?
think it could be.
Because if you're continuing to evolve, you're still like knowing
Part of
what's going
now.
on with right now.
Right. And then, because then things just seem like they're just past memories. Like, it's fun to talk about maps and it's fun to talk about that stuff, but it's not like something that I'm still living for, like, because you continue on.
Right.
But there
you
are
don't use
people who
maps.
get trapped in that, I think, in the past. They want things to be
Well,
like they were.
yeah,
Because I think
that's true.
millennials get a bad name. I mean, we've talked about this. The only generation I have a problem with is the baby boomers.
Yeah, he
I'm
doesn't
really
like
down on
those.
them. I think they
The
dropped the
only
ball.
group of people I have a problem with are just like lazy, complaining, non-hustlers.
Why are you looking at me when you say that?
You know what I mean?
I'm not lazy, Justine. I work my ass off.
John, I don't think we should have this argument in front of everyone. But to me, like people, I think it's easier to categorize people by what they do rather than how old they are.
I
Yes.
love that.
But you're not trying to sell them ketchup.
Like,
See, all
there's
those
certain people that are like, we need more people, we need more of this type of person or that gender or whatever in directing or entertainment or whatever. And I think, no, you need more hustlers.
Yeah.
You don't need more people who look like this or people who talk like this or blah, 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 blah. I don't care what they look like or how old they are or whatever. Are they hustlers? Are they going to get it done? That's what you need more of in particular areas.
Are you surprised?
that on a
Are you
t-shirt.
surprised by her?
Yes.
Isn't
my
she?
gosh.
I told you she was going to be
So Violet is
Okay.
about
good.
those thoughts we have, or in the film it's called The Voice, that tells you you're a piece of shit.
Yes.
That says change that shirt
the monkey
that
brain.
you're going to wear to the party or nobody's going to talk to you. And consciously or unconsciously, we'll change that shirt. And the more times we do that, more times we make fear-based decisions, the further and further we get from being our true self until we're way, way down the path and we go, oh my God, who am I? I don't even know who I am. I don't even know what I like or dislike or anything. And then you see other people who didn't seem to make fear-based decisions and you go, oh my God, I want to be like that. Do you have to be born like that? And this film is about a woman who realizes that voice in her head has been lying to her entire life. And all it wants to do is just crush her and take her off her path. And so she figures out how to cross the bridge. She finds out that there is a bridge, and she figures out how to cross the bridge from where she is now, making fear-based decisions, to having a life that is instinct-based and a free life where she can really be herself.
For me, that crossing that bridge for me is the first step that I found when I got sober was observing myself, to observe those thoughts from a third person.
And that
helped me so much.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
That
Because-
helped. Chase and I have
that's
talked
why-
about this a lot.
And that's why The Voice is not a female voice, because the lead character is it's a woman,
Violet.
right? Played by Olivia Munn.
I'm still
Oh
upset
my
that I
gosh.
didn't, I
And
didn't
The
get
Voice,
cast in that, or at least to read. I should have been able to read.
I know, you're right. You're right.
Thank you.
I don't know why the breakdown said females only.
That's
and I
right.
apologize for that. But The Voice is Justin Theroux.
Wow.
Because I did want people to start thinking about those thoughts not as their own thoughts to which they're going to give validity because they're coming from themselves, but what if, just as an experiment, you pretend that some other person across the table or in the next car or whatever is saying it to you.
And once you do that, I believe
You can
you're
look at-
connected to the universe.
Because
You're-
then you can look at it
you're-
objectively. You can
Right.
think like, well, why would they say that to me? Instead of, oh, it's coming from myself, then it must be true.
My-
No, how about it's all lies? So think about it as coming from someone else, because it's easier to believe that somebody else is lying than that
Than you
you
are.
yourself
Yeah.
are lying.
I was listening to Eckhart Tolle on my way here.
Yes.
I mean, this is like I've been
That's-
like studying my brain for the past.
Chase and I have been talking about meditation a lot, and this is deeply connected to meditation because you're watching your thoughts, you're watching the monkey
And it's
brain.
all fake.
Don't raise your hand to that meeting or they'll think you're a bitch.
Yeah,
Right. Or
And then women go, I don't feel comfortable raising my hand in the meeting because it's a toxic male environment. No. Let's go back to the moment where you had an idea, you wanted to say something in the meeting, and then you decided not to. That's the moment I'm interested in. I'm not interested. Who cares who's in the room? It doesn't matter.
yeah.
I'm not interested in changing
I can't wait to
everyone
watch that.
around me. I'm interested in only changing how I'm reacting to the situation, because that I have control of.
This is
You've
big.
changed so much in the years that I've known you, and yet you've also not changed at all. Like, I connected to this brain on that set of that movie that we shot for 5 days.
Oh,
and I
and
was
you were
like,
just like, and you're so like off the rails funny. I was just like, genius.
you're a great improviser too, and so is Chase. I've improvised with both of you.
Nice.
Sitting next
but
to two
I remember,
geniuses.
but when you improvise with somebody, their truth comes out, you know, and your truth came out. And I was like, "Whoa, who is this?" Because I just thought of you as a celebrity, and I was impressed by that. But then it crossed over. Anyway, that's
where can we watch Violet? When does it come out?
Well,
Has
we're
it come
just
out?
finishing it now. So I directed this in August, and the edit's done, and we're just doing the finishing, the color, the sound, and engineering, and all of that. And we've submitted to a few festivals, and we'll see where we get in, and sell it,
Wow.
and that's that.
well, we're gonna tag you on all of this,
Is
and
it
then
a-
you let us know.
Is it a short film or a feature?
No, it's a feature film. And the
is gonna
short
be
films,
huge.
there's 2 short films. One's called 5 Minutes, and the other's called Push.
I'm an investor
And
on Push.
John's an
Okay.
investor, so
We've got to watch.
those are on Amazon Prime if you want to check those out.
We can
5
put
minutes
those,
and Push.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
can
we'll
put
put the
those
link.
links too. All right, Justine Bateman, interesting, complex person.
What? And this has been my favorite episode.
Really?
Oh, I learned.
I knew you'd love
touched
her.
My
I
soul.
knew you'd
Yeah.
love her.
Wow.
So thank you so much.
Of course.
And is there any place you want to direct people to keep updated on these films? Is there a
Oh, God,
website
I don't
or
know.
a
I guess-
Facebook or an Instagram? Or
I guess,
Or a
well,
to cut
Snapchat.
directly against
I
everything
don't have
you've
a
been
snap.
saying.
No. I think it's good to let people know about things, but
Yes.
yeah, Violet the film. There's a Twitter account and an Instagram account
Just
and whatever.
Google
but I mean,
Violet the film and Justine
Violet the
Bateman,
film,
and it's going to come up.
Or you can go to JustineBateman.com. There's
Yellow
links to
pages
stuff.
it.
Yeah, yellow.
Yeah.
Open your
It's
yellow
in your
pages
yellow
to
pages.
V. All right, Justine, love you. Thank you
You
so
too.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
My generation, baby.